We will start with Percy on the phone.
Awesome. Hey guys. Thank you for doing this as always. Hey Nneka, just to you. It was 66 to 63, and you scored two straight buckets followed by Ezzy there. Could you take me through that moment that it just felt like at that time in the game, it just felt like a rock fight. And like the points were hard to come by. How important was it for you to in a sense, take over at that moment?
I mean, it was crucial. And I would say like this is mostly on me. We didn't have the best start. I had a turnover and then, a couple of missed defensive matchups starting the third quarter. So that we got to do better starting the third quarter, and I'm going to take accountability for that. But once it was grind, they were coming back, but it was a grind. I felt as though they were making a run, but the run was more of like a trudge. We were really trying to make it difficult for them to score, but it came to a point where we had to also respond on the offensive end. So yeah, Ezzy and I, we tried to find our moments, and it ended up working out.
And then this question to Skylar. It seems obvious, but when you guys shoot 9 for 11 like you did on threes there in that first half, just how is the offense different? I mean, just so much better as it compared to 2 nights ago when you guys scored 59.
Yeah,
I think we had 56 in the first quarter. First half, 56 in the
Yes.
first half. So yeah, obviously when you're making threes, they're they add more points. But I just liked our mindset of us all just being aggressive, and just making the right reads and knocking them down with confidence.
Thank you, ladies.
All right, Andrew,
Thanks.
we'll go to you next.
Thanks a lot, Michaela. Andrew Jones, Believe Network. Tyler, for you, obviously knowing Enrique, no secrets, anything. How you felt about just the team defense and attention to detail against her, and as well as you, Nneka, in regards to how you were able to contain a great player like Enrique the way you were able to do?
Well, it was really Gabby's assignment. I mean, we all touched it a little bit, but I thought, for a player like Enrique, and players of her caliber, it's really guarding her as a team. It's not really on one player. I thought we had good awareness of where she was, but I thought it really was Gabby starting the game on her and kind of taking her out of her rhythm, if you will. I think she maybe was expecting some different coverages on her, maybe some traps, and we were trying to mix up our cadence defensively, and it really and also I think she had foul trouble or whatever the case may be, but Gabby did a great job starting on her and throughout the game. Just trying to make a player like that, who can insist her way to the basket, who can get any shot she wants to. I thought she did a good job of containing her tonight, which is not easy to do.
Yeah.
All right, next we'll go to Jeff.
Yeah, Skylar, you talked about the first half with the 56 points. I believe you had 6 assists in that first half. What were you kind of seeing from the point guard's vision in that first half to make the offense move so much? And then I guess in the second half, was there anything kind of differently, or why was the offense not as effective?
I ain't like that second question, but um, I thought that, like I said, we were aggressive and everybody was on their front foot playing and we're making the right reads. They were showing at the nail, but it was a little flat. And so I was able to get some one pass aways. And when we're shooting the ball like that, making extras, I thought we got some of the same looks, maybe law of averages. We didn't knock them down at a 60% clip. But I thought we got some of those second looks and law of averages. They started making a few. So it's the W. We know it's going to happen. And in that third, we talked about, playing with our lead as far as playing not to lose. And they were the aggressors in that third quarter. And I thought the fourth quarter, like, somebody else mentioned, it was just a battle of who can make plays. This is the WNBA. Everybody's trying to win, and they were trying to protect home court. I really heard a lot from our bench, Dominique and Lexi, Zaya, Lee, Erica. Everybody was just talking to us on that sideline. And so it was great communication by our team. I was proud of the way that we executed throughout the games. And at the end of the day, we just landed the plane.
Thank you.
All right, Erica, we'll go to you next.
Thank you much. Hey, ladies, thanks for your time. I want to ask maybe a bit of a pullback question, 1,000 feet. But if you think about where you were coming into a new franchise and organization last year, 2 games in, compared to now? What are some of the things that really make you proud? And what are some things that you want to continue working on this early in the season?
That's a good question. I think there's a comfortability this year. I certainly have. And coming in, there was a lot of coming into a new place, coming into a new team, coming into a new city. So really just kind of leaning on the foundation that already existed. But this year the foundation is it's more of what we put in, We wanted to come in and be very intentional about how we built this team. It starts with the front office and the coaching staff. And I think what I'm proud of are the 10, really 11, including Lou, people that I'm playing with. I'd really have to say that that's something that feels really good. And us being connected, us wanting it so bad, but still understanding the importance of coming out, staying to scout, remembering who we are, and putting that all together. And how we responded in this second game, to me, is an indication of that and the work we've put in these past 3 weeks.
Well said.
We got time for one more question. Do either of you have one in the room?
Yes, you talked about Gabby earlier. Just talk about her, like leaving Eurobasket and committing to the Storm, and her being a disruptor and just what she brings to the team overall.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I didn't know if that was for me and Nneka, but we were just talking about her tonight. She played the whole damn game, first of all. So her shape is amazing. And she had a really tough matchup tonight and will every night. Because she's our best perimeter defender and we really rely on her size. And she had 10 deflections tonight. That's something that we count. So just extremely active on the perimeter. She can rebound. She can get us into our offense. I mean, she shot the three well today. She had 3 steals. She had 2 blocks. I mean, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Like, she can do everything. And I think really just us as a team, as an organization, empowering her to be exactly who she is. And that's one of the best players in this world. And so we are lucky to have her and her commitment to this team this year, her and Dominique being on this team for 44 games.
Right.
But she had that Olympic experience that she had last year and led her team to, an Olympic silver medal, and then came back to our team who, we were in a position where we were fighting for position in playoffs, and she committed then. So her commitment has been awesome to this team. She does it on both sides of the floor, and we rely on her for that.
All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Shout out to Nneka, breaking records, baby. Put it in there. Put it in there, Andrew. Put it in there, Percy. Put it in there, Christian. Brad, Erica, write about it.
All right, Percy, we'll start with you.
Awesome. Hey, Coach. In like a game like this where there's so much to chew on, were you most proud of your offense early, your defense late, or maybe as you said in the pregame, everything in between?
I think that wins on the road are hard to come by in this league, and for us to have some good offense to begin the game, and then know that when things got a little shaky, that our defense could sustain. I think that shows some promise and shows a lot of growth in 40 hours that we had to prepare for this game. We talked a lot about our vets and the matchups before the game. And I love how our vets showed up and willed us through possessions. And I think that there's a lot to build and grow from through this game, from this game.
Mm-hmm. And then in that opener, you guys needed that third performer, and tonight you got a big game from Gabby. Just if you could, just how was she able to just imprint herself on this game on both sides of it? It was Skylar earlier who said that Kieran said she had 10 deflections, and that was so huge.
Yeah, it's big. Gabby's activity and her defensive presence and her athleticism really ignites a lot of what we do on the defensive end. She has tough assignments every game, and she takes the challenge with great pride. And she's not just a good defensive player; she's a really good offensive player. And I know we've had glimpses of her showing that within this league, but to have her here for an entire season, I think we're going to really see her blossom. And I think, she thrives when she's confident, and I'm going to continue to pour into her confidence no matter what. Whether you go 1 for 9 or 7 for 13, Gabby's going to impact the basketball game. Her teammates know that. We know that as a staff, and she was huge for us in her minutes guarding Enrique, but also her other assignments.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you.
We'll go to Erica next.
Hey, Coach, thank you for your time. As always, I wanted to ask you a little bit about coming into this regular season, thinking about Sky and Nneka having an opportunity now to have a little bit more of a foundation under them. What changes have you noticed in how they're approaching this season, if at all? And has there been a particular ask from the coaching staff now that they have gotten a little more acclimated to Seattle?
Their standard is always the standard. The way that they work, the way they take care of their bodies, the way that they prepare physically, mentally to really go to battle. They don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. They are really good examples of how to be elite. In not just in basketball, but in life. And this year for them, there's a lot of comfort, not having to come into a new environment and learn a system on the fly and not have a couple of, things happening simultaneously. Now they're settled in, they're leading us in the locker room, on the court. And my ask for them is to be 100% authentically themselves. Nneka is presidential in every way, but she's also still very elite in what she does. And Sky, just leading by example and the ultimate competitor. I'm not going to ask them to be anybody but themselves, to continue to give all of themselves. Our theme this year is all in all the time. And even when things don't feel good and when they do feel great, the approach doesn't change. The standard remains the standard.
All right, next we'll go to Jeff.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations on the win. You guys score 56 in the first half. Skylar had 6 assists, I believe. Can you just talk about what you saw out of your offense in that first half?
Two things we talked about from our first game is our organization. We were a bit dysfunctional on offense in our first game, and so we addressed that. Our spacing, just where we're supposed to be. And the second thing is the ball movement. We have players that thrive in our system when the ball is popping and moving, and so we saw a lot of driving kicks, some sprays, corner threes, but that's because we were properly spaced and we were very intentional. Also, what I'm probably going to be a little bit more committed to is sometimes slowing down, sacrificing some pace for some intentional execution. And so I thought that we were really good. When our defense is locked in and getting us easier buckets, deflections, and leak outs and transition, like that's what we're going to consistently live in. But when we get the ball moving from side to side, I think things open up a little bit more for us.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
go to Nikias.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Quick question about Skylar. Obviously, it's only been 2 games so far, but it's felt like a little bit more off-ball movement for her leading into some of her touches compared to last season. Just how intentional have you been about setting her up in that way?
Yeah, very intentional. With Gabby on the floor, Gabby can initiate a lot of offense, and as well as E. So when those two are on the floor with Sky, it opens up what we can do on the back side of things, or even our first actions. Trying to play in the middle third with Sky a little bit more, making her be a playmaker and a decision maker. And so again, just another level of comfort for her, like knowing what I want within our spacing and our system. But the complementary pieces that we have, to where she doesn't always have to be on the ball, I think it really helps to get her in space and to find some rhythm in different spots of the floor.
Thank you.
Question in the room?
Yes, you already said that Nneka and Sky are the standard, but just talk about them as leaders and the other veterans on the team and how they help the younger players.
Yeah, Sky and Nneka, our leaders, adding AC to the mix as a three-time champ, that she also holds the standard. She knows what it means to be in a locker room full of competitors, but also how we work and what that encompasses every single day. And then she's been one of her roles is connector in chief. She's been the connector on and off the floor. And her voice matters as well. And when we talk about our vets, they're leading by example, but also they're coaching each other. And for me, that's beautiful to see because that means there's respect there, there's accountability there, and the level of communication that's happening is in real time, and they're able to adjust and really encourage each other to play at a high level. So I love our vets. I love our connectivity, and even got to throw Ezzy in there. My challenge to her is to lead a bit more with her voice. We know that what she can do on the court, but the leadership aspect is coming from a variety of different people, and it feels really good at the moment.
Paige's game. Get your thoughts about her game.
Oh, goodness, solid. Like, watching her, and play in college and coming into the W, she's so balanced on her jump shot. She's not rushed. Her size allows her to see a lot of actions, and defensively, she's been solid too. I think that there's a good combination she has there with Enrique. She's able to play on or off the ball, but her decision making is really top level. And her ability to score in the mid range. I'm old school, so the mid range ain't dead to me. And for her to be able to play in that area of the floor, I think is going to really create some problems for other teams.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.